birthday, dog. It was yesterday, wasn't it? Happy late birthday, dog. I'm still late. Happy birthday to you. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. How's it going, brother?
It's going good. Thank you, Darth Dave. Appreciate it. Happy birthday. I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I'm normally up Saturdays. I'm just literally driving to work when I get the notification. You go live, and I'm always like, oh, sad. Can't be there. But I will tell you, and maybe this is because I took a couple days off. Right before I woke up, I had a dream about work, and I was like, why is this happening to me?
What? You can't get away from it, dude.
Ah, dude, I can't.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. I can't get away. Well, I say that. My job is pretty low stress, except for when I'm there. But I don't have to bring it home with me, so that's pretty nice.
Mine's pretty low stress too, because running a restaurant is very easy for me. I just run around and make sure all the things are happening. But it's just weird because I just woke up. It was one of those dreams where you're like, did that actually happen too? Get a phone call that there's no manager scheduled. I'm like, well, I'm fucking off, so find somebody else.
Man, what's it like finally being off on a Saturday?
It's nice. It's nice, not having to get up at 6:30 in the morning on Saturday.
Yeah. Do you have any plans today?
Deadwood, South Dakota is having their St. Patty's Day pub crawl.
Oh, dope.
So I am gonna go do that here probably a little bit later once my mother texts me saying when are we leaving, because she wanted to go too, so I said let's do it.
What does that consist of? Is it just like, yeah, believe it or not, I don't know if you people in the chat would know this about me. I've not done a pub crawl, so I don't know.
So
what does one expect from a Deadwood pub crawl?
Deadwood is pretty much I say this term lightly, is kind of our little piece of Vegas because it is all bars and casinos and hotels. And what they do is they shut down Main Street, and you buy a $5 specific cup, and you can walk bar to bar. So it's like open street, and you just walk around drinking.
Yeah.
When normally that is not allowed.
Dude, I love that. We used to have cool shit like that here
where
I'm at, and
yeah,
not
there's
anymore.
events and stuff.
Let's
so
see. What?
And then I know. Well, okay. So here's the thing too. If anybody really wants to do a pub crawl, July 4th out here, because we're right next to Mount Rushmore, is going to be nuts. They're doing fireworks at Mount Rushmore. They haven't done those in like 10 years or something like that. And it's a lottery to get tickets.
What?
And then
is it supposed to be like this? I guess it's supposed to be like a massive event.
Oh, Trump will be here. All that fun stuff.
No shit.
Yeah. And then downtown Rapid City wants to close the downtown area, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, for just to make it a giant party for those 3 days.
Dude, I need to move.
Which, since both the restaurants are downtown, we're all like, oh, that's going to be so annoying.
You're going to make a killing those days, though, man. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna
Well, we
be
were. I mean,
a windfall.
it's funny. Our boss, because obviously everybody went to go talk to the mayor and be like, "Have you thought of the logistics of this?" Because you're gonna have to let, um, like Cisco and all our food and alcohol reps, like you're gonna need to let them downtown. So like you're gonna have to have cops watching streets and stuff.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, we used to do cool stuff like that where I'm at, but not anymore, man. My place, it's full of like I think what they're trying to do with my area is, considering it's kind of like the hub of government function, they want it to be just like this. It's a place of decorum. No,
mm,
no degenerates, no like any debauchery. It's just
it's all
a,
behind closed
a
doors.
nice place where the politicians can snort cocaine behind closed doors, and they can ignore the crime rate. But as long as there's no cool parties or anything like that, then we're good.
Right. Well, thanks for stopping by, Lynn Green. Thank you for happy birthday.
Yeah, good to see you, Lynn Green. Good to see everybody else in the chat. I see Darth Dave. I see Fantastic.
Asian Corey,
good to see you.
fantastic. Commander's
Fantastic.
around. Good to see a 40 Viking.
Yeah, you guys are
So-
awesome for being here bright and early on a Saturday morning. I've got the map up, and I'll probably be just putting little things on it here and there, but I don't know how much I'm actually going to be working on it, because this is
It's kind of sci-fi that you're working on there.
yeah, no, it's so I can't remember whose idea it was. It was like a club, like a cyberpunk club that somebody suggested. So I was like, you know what, that's a pretty good idea. I like that.
Nice. Nice.
So we're
Yeah, I know. The other day, I haven't gone yet, so we had a game store, I guess, open up in town, and I haven't gone because I'm sort of scared. The building it's in is a little scary. It used to be, if I remember correctly, it used to be like somebody who was running for offices, like little building,
mm-hmm.
but it's in a horrible spot. It doesn't have its own parking lot, and the windows are all basically boarded up. It has a "we're now open" sign that's like half cracked and broken, and I'm like, this sounds like somebody gets murdered.
Yeah. What is it? I don't even think I have a game store. But like, is there really even much of a market for physical game stores anymore? Because they have to. The problem is
I think so.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because I think that you got to go all in,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I think that you can't, unless you just have money. You're like some trust fund baby or whatever. You're like, this is what I love,
Mm-hmm.
so here it is for the community. Our card shops, we have 4 card shops in this town, so like Magic the Gathering stuff, and they all do extremely well.
Really?
Now, I would never open a card shop because there's already 4, but we have Woodland Republic, who's a brewery downtown, does Thursday night D&D nights, and apparently it's starting to build quite the crowd.
Really?
Like they went on Facebook looking for more people to run tables. And so when you don't have one, I think one does really well. But I want to open one. But yes, exactly. Darth Dave is right. It has to run games. It also has to, I think, include video games. Nowadays, you need to have some sort of video game thing too. And I've always thought, so I grew up in a LAN center, and I think those are making a comeback because
Mm-hmm.
computers are getting to a point now where to run some of these high-end games, you have to spend $3 or $4 on a computer.
Yeah.
And so I think those would be accessible. And then with esports, I think a LAN center that does like a Call of Duty League or a Fortnite league
Mm-hmm.
or these competitive games and has a league. So like you come in with your friends, you guys, say this is our team. You sign the team up. Um, you have to over the course of 6 weeks, you have to submit 6 games, and then from there, that's how you get your points for the league and all that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think people would be down for that on like a local level. And then at the end of it, you do a big tournament. You build a bracket, and you just have a big one day that's just a huge tournament. You get food trucks, you get all this stuff to like make a day of it.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really think of it because, like, I don't really know. The closest game shop I've got is 30 miles away, so I got to go way out of my way to do anything. And at that point, by the time you get up there, I'm just going up there to see if they have something that I don't want to wait in the mail for, because, like, brick and mortar, it seems like they have to upcharge everything so much in order to be able to make any money on it. But here's the thing: I know they've got a room off to the side where they can run card games, they can run D&D games, whatever. I've never seen anybody in there doing that. Is the thing, and they don't have it.
Yeah.
They don't have the video game aspect, right? So, like, there just hasn't been the closest thing I can say is, like, we've got a place here that is solely, like, it's just a building with a bunch of computers set up. That's all it is. And people will go in there, but I think that, like, maybe I'm an exception to the rule because I'm just fine sitting in my house by myself, all by my lonesome. But, like, I think people like playing. Like, no, I haven't had a LAN party in forever.
Right.
But
so like Darth Day was right. People need to be able to like sample games at physical game stores, which is why
Mm-hmm.
I would have a wall of games. It's a $5 deposit, because if you break a piece or something after you give it back, I keep your money.
Right.
But you have a wall of different board games to play, and board games are a high investment too.
Yeah.
So for like,
For sure.
and that's another thing. You look at a high-end computer, PS5s, Xboxes. Everybody generally only has one.
Right.
Of those. And same with board games. It's $50-$60 for a board game to play it once with your friends a year.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was a place that could facilitate you and your friends, maybe some alcohol, maybe some snacks,
Mm-hmm.
has a bunch of like vintage consoles or PS5s, whatnot. Because I have this idea of putting together little areas with a big TV that have some consoles at it, but
Mhm.
like it's a couch, make it like look like a little college couch with a couple beanbags or like just a couple comfy chairs
Mm-hmm.
at it. So you come, you play Mario Kart, or you sit down and grab, an N64 or, Sega Saturn, whatever I can get my hands on to fill out these little spots. Just have one or two of them where it's just like old virtual, old school consoles or even new stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think something like that would do really well.
I think you're right, because I think, like, I don't have a Switch, but I feel like there is a big, like, have you noticed just the amount? Well, even I guess Jacob's Ladder is even an example of this. Like the amount of nostalgia for like the '90s and early 2000s, where people would actually like get together and just like play games and stuff like that, play split screen games, split screen Halo,
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I bet there's a giant market for that. A giant.
And then if I did Smash Brother tournaments or things like that, I've always thought, and I remember years ago when I was kind of looking for commercial real estate stuff because I just wanted to see what was around town.
Mm-hmm.
I got a real estate agent. We were looking at stuff, and I was kind of telling her my idea. And it was one of the next times we went to go look at a property. Her husband comes with her because he's like, because she was telling him about it. And, I said this thing that if I open, my grand opening is going to be an Uno tournament. Like, I'm going to get legit poker tables, and we're gonna have rules on the wall, and it's buy-in, and the two people to do Uno from each table go to the next table, kind of thing. Like we're gonna do it like a legit Uno tournament. And he was like, "Dude, I want in." But yeah, it was funny. But like stuff like that would be fun.
Yeah, man. Like, oh man. Oh, I had a thought and it just kind of.
Chrysanth,
Chrysanth.
gifted subs.
Whoa, Chrysanth. What is this? 10 subs, Chrysanth. You
I
are.
got confused. It said it in Streamlabs, and then it did it on Kick. I was like, "Wait, who is this?" 10 gifted subs.
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Chrysanth.
You are the chosen one.
Thank you for the happy birthday.
You are the chosen one. Velrock says, we have a wall of board games for use in store here. People do enjoy it. We've even had families come in to play stuff, people you wouldn't expect to come in a game store. Yeah? Well, so I've got, we've got a bar here that just has, it's like a small wall of board games. Nothing like crazy. What I would like to do is get one of those big, giant, long board games. Not like Monopoly. Everybody knows Monopoly, but like, have you ever played a game called Axis and Allies?
Mm-hmm.
Freaking
I played.
Love that game.
So I played the sci-fi one. Was the Imperium
sci-fi one?
Whatever one. Yes. Gosh. I've played it twice, mostly just because I didn't really feel like spending 6 hours playing a board game all that often.
Well, I didn't
Imperium Twilight?
I didn't know that there was a
Twilight Imperium.
Twilight Imperium. Okay. I didn't even know there was a sci-fi one. Uh-oh.
This is effectively the sci-fi Risk.
I lost a thing. I lost some stuff. Move to boom. Okay. I think, am I doing that right? Oh my gosh. I've completely lost the plot here. What am I doing? I don't even know anymore, man. Let's see. Axis and Allies have a huge board I made for you. Wait, you made an Axis and Allies board?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's one of those games though. Like when I first started playing it, we would have like, asides. Like the team would move off to the side and have a little powwow for like 10 minutes discussing their next turn. The first game we played took like 8 hours. Each turn was like an hour. And then, we were like, get a little bit faster at it. Because we now have lives and things we have to get back to. But like, I would just love to get together with a couple of people and play that game and just have some brews. Like start at like 10 a.m. 11. When is it socially acceptable to drink? I don't know. You can start with mimosa. Start at 11, right?
I was gonna say I work at a breakfast place. We get people drinking at 7 o'clock.
Oh, you know what? That's
my favorite is the off-work nurses who come in between 7:30 and 8 because they're like, "We are done with our day."
I bet they get wild.
Some of them.
Mm.
Well, so we only have beer and wine, but our mimosas are $10, and it's effectively half a bottle.
Oh, snap! Okay, so you get like a whole like pint glass of mimosa.
It's a little craft thing, and then we just give it we just off color it for whatever flavor you want. Man, Talisman's really fun too.
Talisman is a great time.
I know I have it on Steam, and I think I have 3 or 4 extras because a year ago, they were having this sale for like 5 editions of the game for like super cheap.
Really? On Steam?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had that on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to check that out.
That'd be a fun one. That might be a fun game night one.
Yeah,
channel.
I think so. Last time I played Talisman, I ended up being, what was it? It was the monk, and it was the most pathetic playthrough I think I've ever done. I got out of the first layer like once, immediately got sent back and lost all my craft. Like it just
Oh, last time I played it, I started, got somewhere, got teleported straight to the dungeon at the end of the game. And I'm like, I am just going to do circles around the upper tier area and see what happens.
oh my god.
And I wound up winning. But I was like,
Really?
this kind of sucks, guys.
Dude, so whenever you get up top, it's like the place is a freaking death trap because it's like if you go one way, it's like you roll 3d6 or 2d6 or something like that, and that's how many life you lose. You just lose it. That's all there is to it. And if you survive that, you can move on to the next square. Or if you go the other way, it's like roll 2d6. Now you have to fight that many 4-strength pit fiends all in a row before you can move forward. Like places that no, like I have to, I have to completely like I have to put that off for as long as possible because I'm very risk averse and I'm like I ain't facing that before I'm ready. Ain't no freaking way.
Yeah, I just got like really lucky. Well, then I think everybody else died like within a round or two from something like stupid stuff, and I was like, oh, I guess I win by default.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Talisman's an awesome time. I love playing Talisman. Talisman. Have you ever played a board game called Letters from Whitechapel?
I can't say I've played it, but
So, Letters from Whitechapel is also a very good time. If you can find somewhere that has it, I highly suggest you get a couple of people to play it with you. Because basically, you have Jack the Ripper. He is one player is Jack the Ripper. Everybody else is a constable in Whitechapel. And Jack the Ripper, basically, he makes all these hidden moves. There's little numbered spots all around the board, and he'll write down a number of spaces that he uses. And the idea is he has to get from a murder scene back to his hideout. And the constable's job is to search around Whitechapel for clues and either try to box him in or find his hideout. And it's a great time. It's a great time.
sounds like a fun one. I haven't had like a board game night in a while.
Yeah, I'll do a board game night like once every, I don't know, a couple months. It's like, it alternates between poker and board game night, honestly. But a lot of times, if I get together with some friends or something like that, it's like, we'll just play a simple little game like Code Names or something like that. Nothing crazy.
No, something kind of quick.
Yeah. Code Names is a good one. There's one we played called Mind of the Gap, and it's like a game having to do with like cross-generational pop culture, history, headlines, movies, music, stuff like that. And dude, I'm telling you, I am terrible at that game. It's like the boomers have so many, it's so difficult and so many like I'm just terrible. I don't know anything about boomers or how they grew up. Well, it's like, I was talking yesterday on Sevi had a 2K sub screen, if I could speak today, had a 2K sub stream, and they were all talking about Monty Python, and I'm like, I've seen the Holy Grail like 15 years ago.
It's been a while since I've seen the other stuff, but I remember some of it.
Yeah.
I'm a lumberjack.
Yeah, everybody regards Holy Grail as or not Holy Grail, but Monty Python is like peak comedy. I was good at code words. I tend to excel at spycraft games. Fantastic, sarcastic, humble as ever.
Is that because you are a spy?
Yes, let's hear your Russian accent. Oh man. So I'm curious. Do you have? Obviously, we've got Sanguine Destiny going on right now. Are there any other Is there anything else that you're not that I want you to make any announcements or anything like that of things that you have planned, but is there anything else that you're like, I really, really want to try that. I want to give that a shot.
Outgunned for sure.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
one I need to dig into a little bit more because that one would be fun to do some mini series on. Just because I like the spy kind of action movie stuff.
yeah. Yeah, that one seems fun for everybody in chat who doesn't know. It's basically like it's a TTRPG mixed with Yahtzee, and like I can't remember all the exact rules for it, but like you can.
Well, it's the same engine we use for Fear of Ages Past and Jacob's Ladder, right? But they changed it a little bit because you are looking to get, it has that Yahtzee aspect in it. So
Mhm.
you're looking to get pairs and triples and stuff like that for, level tiers of success. And yeah, so it's the base one is just sort of it's just an action movie. I bought the one that gears a little bit more towards spy. I think the example is like if you want to play John Wick.
Oh.
There's one that is like very geared towards Indiana Jones stuff. So that would be a fun one.
Yeah. I like that because it can just be like you don't have to take it too. I think it's probably designed to not really take too seriously.
Yeah.
It's just this kind of off the wall. I don't know if it leans comedic, but it kind of seems like it does. Just with the amount of insane stuff that it encourages you to do by nature of the system itself.
Yeah, probably. That one would be a fun one. Other than that, I guess we just need. I mean, I think if we do a season 2 of Ash and Steel,
Mm-hmm.
I want to try a different anime-inspired tabletop rule set.
Okay. Is
So,
there
like,
another one out there?
there is the big one right now is Fabula Ultima. Is a fantasy tabletop game inspired by Japanese role-playing video games such as Final Fantasy series. I feel like that would lend well to kind of how we set Goblin Slayer up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a huge Akira Toriyama fan, and I've always loved Dragon Quest art.
Oh yeah.
And so, because I have a Dragon Quest art book on this shelf that's over behind me. But I've always thought that would be fun to do, kind of like a Dragon Quest inspired game where we find somebody who, if there's somebody who does, an Akira Toriyama style art,
Mm-hmm.
because they're just goofy. I love Dragon Quest. That is up there for me because I know I played the demo. They're going back and like remaking a lot of them, the Dragon Quest games, and they're just so great.
I've not played a Dragon Quest game. I'm looking at some of the art
I
now,
remember.
and I dig it. I like it.
I want to say, I think it was a Game Boy game, maybe that it was on. I had one. That and like Monster Rancher. If anybody's an OG gamer and remembers Monster Rancher was so much fun. I had it on the PS1, and what you did, so Monster Rancher, it all came about at the Gotcha monster game. So Digimon, Pokemon, all that stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
then Monster Rancher shows up, and this one it had a show, and the show was effectively they find these ancient tablets that hold the monsters, and they use a whole ritual, and the monsters come out. But in the games, you would use words. No, in the one in the Game Boy, was it Game Boy? Yeah, Game Boy Advance. You would use different words to create your monsters. In the PS1 one, you would actually put other discs into the PS1 system, and that's what would create the monster for you.
Interesting. I'm curious.
Yeah,
I'm
so it was really cool, and I remember in, I think it was the Game Boy one maybe, or one of them, I knew, like, I had stumbled upon a couple really, really, really good monster words, and so I could actually beat, like, get really high leveled, and it was a tournament, like, you raise them, you feed them, you train them to win these tournaments. It was that was a great game.
Monster Rancher. Interesting.
Monster Rancher.
I'd never heard of that before.
Yeah. Yeah, the anime, some, some teenage kid stumbles on the world. His first monster is basically a naked penguin, and he names Mochi. Uh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
interesting.
disc stones, and then the games. Let's see. Yeah, so in the show and in the lore, they use disc stones to create the genomes of the monsters. So in the games, yeah, uh, yep. So right here it says Monster Generation, a Monster Rancher, Monster Rancher 2, 3, 4, and Monster Evo. The player can generate a new monster by inserting any CD into their video game console.
Any CD.
Any CD. The characteristics of the monster are determined by various numbers stored in the game. To generate a monster, a random number generator is needed to define the character's body, yada yada. Tecmo created a CD reading system that would use the disc to generate random number seeds and consequently a large variety of random monsters. The values found in disc data are mapped to monster characteristics.
Interesting. Okay.
And then some DVDs created specific monsters. So I guess in Monster Hunter 4, the Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets would generate a unique owl and stuff like that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's so like how does somebody come up with that idea? That's really really cool. And I don't think that's something that we would really see nowadays.
Well, nowadays most of your systems are all digital, so you wouldn't have that cool ability to do that. But
Yeah.
there was one where it was words, and I want to say it was the one for Game Boy. Maybe
Where
it
you
was
would just
one of
like
them, I
enter
feel
a
like.
word in there and it would
Yeah, so the same kind of algorithm.
uh-huh.
Monster Hunter DS. That's it, I believe. Uh, would just have you use words instead of discs.
Huh.
I believe so. One of them
That's
did. I
wild.
remember doing that, but yeah. Yeah, it was good times.
That's super cool. Yeah. No, I'm learning all kinds of new stuff here. Cuz that's something that I had just never heard of it.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that like I find a property that I like and I kind of stick with it. I don't know if you guys know that or not about me, but
Well, I'm an OG. I'm like an OG otaku because I was big into anime 24 years ago now. So, like,
yeah.
yeah, early teenage years when uh, Shonen Jump was really big. And uh, Shonen Jump back then that's like when One Piece first came out in the
Yeah.
manga. And I remember reading those original series and like the first bits of Naruto when they came out in manga. I remember Dragon Ball Z was I think in the Cell Saga at that point for the American translation.
Mhm.
So I was definitely way into that culture, and I used to go to Otakon, which at the time was the biggest anime convention in Boston,
Mhm.
and one of my favorite animes to this day is Shaman King. They remade the series and put it on Netflix a couple years ago. But that one is really cool because that is um, people find spirits to like bond with,
Mhm.
and the spirits become their weapons. And there's this whole thing going on with shamans, and the Shaman King comes around every couple. The tournament for somebody to become Shaman King comes around every 1,000 years. Yada yada yada. And there's some big bad guy who's looking to enter it. All those standard things. And I remember I was walking around and they had the Japanese version of a Shaman King game. And I'm like, oh, I need this so much. But you had to get the translator disc for GameCube. So you turn your GameCube on, you put the translator disc in, and I guess it changed the coding of how it read to be able to read Japanese CDs or discs.
Uh-huh.
And then you put that Shaman King game in, and that one was a battle game, but it was rock paper scissors.
I remember you telling me about this
So
now.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
assigned your moves to rock paper scissors, and you would click one, and the characters would do rock paper scissors. And that's how they would attack. Yeah, that was a good one. Like,
That's
this
so
is
cool.
wild.
That's so cool. You know, something just occurred to me, and I think it would make for a really really cool, you know, just like a couple of episodes or something like that. But if we could do maybe like a single player thing based on, do you remember Shadow of the Colossus?
Yeah,
Oh, dude, I was enraptured by that game when I played it, and then they
that was a good one.
remastered it, and it was just so good. It was such a good game. I don't know. I don't really know what would be a good system to really be able to communicate that well. Maybe like, I don't know. The year zero system is pretty cool, but I feel like because it's really loose with the narrative and stuff like that. You can just say, you know, I want to do this. I want to do this thing, and you just roll a skill. You know,
Mhm.
you got one of 3 or 4 skills depending on what actual system you use, and you could just say you do that thing based on your roll. But I don't know. I don't know, but I really like the idea of just like this single player and going out across this vast wasteland where you're just like, you know, maybe you've got like some travel events and stuff like that, and you know, you overcome the wilderness just so you can get to this gigantic beast that yeah, that you have to kill, and it's, I don't know. I
I feel like the zero system would be easiest to play something like that because I feel like it lends itself well. I mean, I haven't played the like Strider editions
mhm.
of Lord of the Rings, so I don't know how the solo play went, but I feel like it wouldn't be too bad.
That one would be good as well, I think. Just because of its simplicity.
Mhm.
But the that one focuses so much the on the whole travel aspect, and I think combat is like, as far as combat frequency, that one's kind of in the middle where, you know, some games like Call of Cthulhu and you know, maybe the year zero to an extent, but specifically like the Electric State. Um, that one is like, those two are like combat infrequency is key
Mhm.
to
Mm.
survival, and the One Ring is like, it's somewhere in the middle, where you could probably get away with having a combat every other game or something like that, but it's just, again, like, yeah, it's just so lethal where 2 shots is just done. Your character is done for, or
Yeah.
potentially like done for. Is
One that I'm
cereal a soup?
interested in, I want to see how the mechanics work, is the Roll for Combat's Battle Zoo Eldamon, which is their like Pokemon supplements for like 5th edition.
That would be interesting.
Because I keep getting ads for that one because I guess they're doing
Who is it that's
some
putting it
sort of
out?
sale on it. Roll for Combat.
Roll for Combat. Okay. Because I've seen, like, I remember seeing years ago people were doing, you know, homebrew kind of
Hmm.
uh, OGL 5th edition Pokemon stuff. But I read through it and I was like, I don't know, it just didn't seem super satisfying to me. And maybe the bookkeeping would be too, I don't know. Maybe the bookkeeping would be too much on it because you're keeping track of your trainer level and you're keeping track of, because obviously you want something that your trainer levels up, right? Like it wouldn't just be your Pokemon. Or do you think you could get away with something where your trainer is just, you don't really get any additional things as a trainer, but your Pokemon do?
Fantastic sarcastic. Avenue Studios did do it. I knew somebody we knew did one.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's Avenue Studios, I'll have to go back and watch that one specifically. Because the ones I've seen, or the ones that seem like they would be good, are where you have a trainer type.
Mm-hmm.
So there are, your trainer can do special things, but for the most part, it's about the creatures, so to speak, that you have.
Yeah, that's.
I will definitely have to put that on my watch list then.
Yeah, yeah. Because right now, I think when they did Eldamon, I want to say that it was like the first game that they introduced, that Dan introduced Nova Beasts. I might be wrong on that. I might be wrong on that. And then we switched it up because the current one we're using is Daggerheart.
Yes.
But yeah, I need to go back and.
So I've watched. I think I'm on
too.
episode 3 of Nova Beasts, because we're just kind of. Whenever I get a chance, I plop anything on, because it's just kind of everybody's backgrounds. I think we're finishing up everybody's sort of background-esque stories.
Yeah. Yeah, the first 3 episodes of Nova Beast, we hardly had any roles, like, and then Dan, well, I can lend it to Daggerheart too. Daggerheart's actually, I tend to like it as a system. I know some people have their complaints with it, but I tend to like it. But Dan's also very good at building up that tension and stuff like that. And some of the stuff we get into is just like, man, I've almost never been so just like not afraid but stressed, just like, oh my god, just because, like, it's everything is coming down to the wire, and I want to be able to communicate that as well. But like that, Daggerheart's very good at that because it implements these like timers, where you have to get a certain. It's kind of like what we did to a limited extent with the One Ring, where you had to get a certain number of successes within a certain amount of rolls.
Yeah,
it's similar to that, but by the time we got around to doing that in the One Ring, like, you guys were so good at the roles that you were doing, it was just kind of like, it was almost negligible. But
well, it's so funny when you look at Fear of Ages Past and now Jacob's Ladder, that for some reason in Jacob's Ladder, it does not matter how many dice we roll, nobody rolls well.
It's wild, man. It's wild. It's like last night I was Frost was rolling. He was rolling 6s across the board, and he was rolling a couple, like 2, but it seemed like every other roll he was rolling a 6, so it would ace, and then he would roll another 6, and it was just like, I was like, why can't you roll that like that on Sunday? It's like, I don't know. There's something about those systems though. It's just like, except for everybody except for, it seems like Velrock. Velrock seems to succeed at least every empathy roll he does.
I was gonna say it depends with Velrock. When it's been like these serious moments that we probably need to ace this, none of us get them. But when we're like, let's do this kind of goofy thing and see what happens, we're like, oh, 3 successes. I would say Commander N probably has the most successes in times of need. I have to push rolls to succeed on anything. It feels like the only time I succeed is when I push things, so I might as well just keep that obsessive compulsive mental trauma that my character had.
Yeah, no, that is wild, but not like to that end. My characters, the NPCs don't really succeed on much either. So, and they don't even really get a whole lot of talents. Most of their talents is like, combat-based talents. They're really good with a
Yeah.
pistol, or they're really good with a knife, or they're really good at punching, things like that. But yeah, everyone will be watched, or everyone will
Yeah,
be
I
Locke's
would
best friend.
love to
Yeah,
do a
absolutely.
bigger collab with Avenue Studios
Mm-hmm.
where like it's, me and you on the show or, both of them, like where it's the whole of both teams
Yeah,
doing something.
yeah.
I feel like we should explore maybe an outgunned miniseries with them because I feel like that would be something that they would be
Oh, 100%. I think they would
super
totally
down
be.
if we did some like uh you know assassin action hero movie. It would turn into the Expendables probably, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, that's what
Or it
Outgunn's
would
for.
probably come closer to like Suicide Squad. That's one too. You know what? That a superhero one would be fun.
Yeah, I think, don't they have like what is that? Wow.
Invincible has. I mean,
Invincible's got one.
I bought that one. So humble bundle that had a bunch of them, but um, yeah, a superhero TTRPG would be fun.
Yeah, what is that? There's a book series that a buddy of mine, who I think is in the chat, Huck. What's that book series? That superhero book series you were reading? Not Wild Cards. Was it Wild Cards? Don't they have like a tabletop RPG for that?
Let's see.
Heroes and Villains is one. Yeah.
Yeah, Legends is there. There's quite a few.
Now, okay, Huck is in the chat. He's like asking if hot dogs are sandwiches, and
Yes, is
if
there cereal soup?
it's cereal soup. Why don't we call packages of string cheese spools? That well, because it's not a the spool is the thing which the string wraps around. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the other two ones make sense. The sandwich and the soup one. This one, you're losing the plot
Yeah,
on the
you
string
gotta.
cheese and spools.
Yeah, the spool is the apparatus in which the string cheese would wrap around. Now, I wouldn't
Now,
be opposed if Baby Bell decided to come out with a spool of cheese.
be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it would sell very well, but
Yeah.
it'd be interesting for like food art.
So I just pulled up Start Playing's. They put this out last May, and it says 8 superhero tabletop games for big action, secret identity drama, and creating your own hero. Masks: A New Generation is on there. Marvel Multiverse is on there. Cipher System I haven't seen. Mutants and Masterminds. Kids in Capes. Okay, this is probably the one I'd want to do because Kids on Brooms and Kids on Bikes, they're super simple.
Mm-hmm.
And from all the ones I've seen, look super fun. Because Dimension 20 did a Kids on Brooms where they effectively go to Hogwarts. American kids go, and that one's really funny. But the stats are dice based, so it's kind of like Savage World,
Mm-hmm.
where you get a set amount of you get like a D6, a D4, whatever to put
Mhm.
in your stats, and that's kind of where that starts. Which I like that part of Savage Worlds is really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked that. I just don't necessarily like the target numbers of Savage World and how you can't really do more than 4 wounds, but you can roll and do the math for like 35.
There's a lot of issues. Well, maybe not a lot of issues I have with Savage Worlds, but there's some questionable
And
decisions
it
that
could just
got made
be
with that
because we're
system.
playing the Pathfinder version, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and there could just be things because I have the straight Savage Worlds core book,
Oh, nice. Okay.
and this one is neat. Freddie, it's my birthday, or was yesterday, but yeah. So this one's cool because it's it goes over the same things, and it does jump into like different genres.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
it gives examples of like superhero stuff or spy stuff or stuff like that. Like the armor, it's got medieval armor, modern armor, futuristic armor. It covers all of that stuff in the base book.
Okay. Yeah, Dave says that there are Pathfinder problems that are better in the main Savage worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'm not a super well versed on Savage worlds, because I feel like the only thing that I've played is the Pathfinder version.
Yeah, I've never played like the core Savage Worlds. I just have had this book forever and I've skimmed through it enough times to know.
Second birthdays are a thing. Didn't know about them. Yeah, they are now.
Exactly.
They are now. I'll tell you what. Whenever I think about games that I want to play, I think more often than anything, I get charmed by the world, like the Twilight 2000, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wanted to try that because I like the idea of playing a game in post World War III Russia or whatever. I like the idea of having it's kind of like a hex crawl type game, sort of.
Yeah.
But that one also uses, unless I'm mistaken, I believe that one also uses a variation of the Year Zero system as well. But it's a little bit more.
Yeah, because it's another free league
Yeah,
game as well.
but it's a little bit more tactical in their approach to combat and stuff like
Well,
that.
it's probably like Forbidden Lands, because that's a hex crawl. And that was one of the ones I got when I sent them that email and said, "Hey guys, we did YouTube content with your stuff. Do you have a social media page or a thing?" And they said, "Yeah. Do you guys want some stuff?" We said, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be like, a little player guide.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy. Maybe a beginner's box.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was like the actual. I got to send you the actual Twilight 2000 box.
Yeah. Have you read through it at all?
No, I haven't even opened it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because I also have Tales from the Loop. I have the variant of Tales from the Loop, which is a little more sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
I've got so much stuff I have this problem that anytime I see them go on sale, I go, "Oh yeah, I can write this off. It's fine." Although we don't make enough money to have to worry about that, so
Yeah.
which was nice because I was like, "Did we make enough money? Do I have to put this in my taxes?" And then when I went all over PayPal, PayPal's like, "We don't even give you a tax paper unless you've made more than $2,000." And I said,
Dope.
"If you don't do it, I won't say anything."
Yeah, we definitely didn't just put that on the internet for the IRS to see.
It's okay. We're dealing in the red anyway. It's fine. They'd owe me more money.
Yep. Oh, today's Pi Day. I didn't realize that. Yeah, happy Pi Day.
Oh yeah, yep. Pie day.
Yeah.
I'll have to go. Maybe I'll go do a shepherd's pie or something.
Ooh, yeah.
Good.
That'll be good. That'll be a good way to, if you can do that, like in between a couple of pub crawl stops, and you can kind of get all those mashed potatoes to soak it all up, all that greasy hamburger and stuff.
Well, most places do, like the restaurants do like a food deal kind of thing. Like if you're participating in the pub crawl, they normally have snacks. Yeah, they don't want a bunch of people just throwing up and stuff. They're pretty good at it. I know last week I was kind of bummed because Saturday, Rapid City was doing their whiskey fest, but they upped the price on the tickets by like $50, and I was like, I am not enthused. And then of course, obviously they put the list of, the special allocations I got. I'm like for $125, none of these sound like they are exciting for me to go spend that much money.
Yeah, everything seems so cost prohibitive anymore. Like, it's just like, yeah, it's not worth the money that it costs to go and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because people are like, "Oh, you can go drink Pappy's." If I want Pappy's, I'll just go spend the $30, $40, whatever it is, to get the thing of Pappy's. I'm like, and it's good. I've had it. If I ever had a bunch of money, I'd probably just have a bottle to have a bottle. But I am the kind of person, and it's just because of my background, and I find this in wines too, that likes uniqueness in my whiskeys that I drink. So I have one that was aged in Pinot Noir barrels for
Interesting.
9 months, and it's very interesting because the color, it has a wine. It like looks like wine. It just looks like a darker wine. Like it has this very unique red color,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of taste the dryness of the wine in the whiskey, and it's one of my favorite ones to sip on.
Really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
really
Because
good.
a lot of the whiskeys that I've come across have been kind of like, if it's not just regular whiskey, it's just kind of gimmicky, you know?
Mhm.
Like I don't mind peanut butter whiskey, but it doesn't really have that
Oh, it's all sugar.
yeah. Yeah, it's basically just like a lot of sugar. It's got a little bit of peanut butter flavoring and stuff.
And most of the time, you got to read them too. I think Screwball's actually a whiskey, but a lot of them will say spirit. If
Mm-hmm.
they say spirit on it, it's actually blended with vodka.
Really?
So anytime you see anything that is like a blended spirit or something like that, they have used a percentage of vodka to create whatever they're going for.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's
But I'm not really the kind of person to I'm not the person to talk to about whiskey because I don't like maybe it's just my frailness as it comes to alcohol, but all whiskeys kind of taste the same because I can't really get over the chest sensation. I'm just like, ugh,
mm.
every time.
Yeah, there's one that was it. I wish I had a little bit more money last time I was able to go to MegaCon because the restaurant I was working at that point had a it's called is Sextro Rye. Sextro is the distillery. They're in Indiana.
Hmm.
So they make rye and they use sugar cane. So it's really got a nice sweet flavor to it. But it's 158 proof. Or it's 100 yeah, 158%.
Holy
So
smokes.
yeah, and that bad boy, you feel your entire esophagus, but it's like delicious too. Like you're like, this feels like I'm drinking gasoline, but also has really nice sugary.
That's how they can get it to go. A spoonful of sugar helps the whiskey
Yeah,
go down. Yes, Corey, I am going to MegaCon. I am going to MegaCon. I don't know what my schedule is because I'll mostly be hanging out with people who have a very busy schedule, and I don't. But it's kind of one of those things where we agreed, like, yeah, we're gonna split off into pairs if we're gonna split off, just for safety reasons and stuff like that. Like we're gonna go in groups and stuff. So, but I don't know. I know that so I'll be doing the obviously G&G G&G meetup. I'll be doing the Universal after party thing for
after
MegaCon.
hours night thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll be going to Ice Bar again. Um, and then I know that there's a 9-line meetup with Jay that Nomi and Tabitha and Smoo are all going to. I don't know if I'm going to that yet. Um, but I think that one's in. I want to say that one's in Daytona. I think. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what my whole schedule is going to be, but I will be in the area. I mean, maybe I'll just stay at the Airbnb the whole time. That sounds nice. Just like chill. Like have an
I
18
want
person
to.
Airbnb to myself.
Okay. GCX. I want to go to GCX. It's in Orlando. Um, it is now again. Now we're going back to old streaming days. It let's see, when is it this year? I think it's in July, but it's a gaming convention. July 24th through the 25th. It's in Orlando again,
Okay.
but that one's really cool. The guys who started that, King Cathalion, they're rare drop now. Uh, Darkness 429, a bunch of they started in Borderlands, they went to Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
They did a bunch of stuff. Um, and this one just looks, it's just more gaming. You know, it's more of a gaming than kind of a comic.
Yeah,
And I think that would be a lot of fun.
that would be a lot of fun. I think that the thing that kind of like I like getting together with everybody at MegaCon, but the thing that kind of disenchants me about it is the focus on selling stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just so much stuff to buy. It's a place where vendors go to sell stuff, and it's not necessarily about, like, it's about the culture, but it's not. And
Well,
also,
I know. Last year, I was like the only one who went to a few panels, and I remember because I was like Sevi or Rudai. Like this is when they were switching over to Moonskull being their horror stuff, and I was like, come to this demonologist panel with me.
yeah, I need to look through all those panels and see, because basically all the focus has been on, oh, who's going to be there? Everybody from Lord of the Rings is going to be there because it's the 25th anniversary. Well, I'm not going to pay that much money to meet them. I think somebody from Conan's going to be there. Somebody like there's going to be a bunch of people there that they've announced. But yeah, I haven't actually looked into the panels, and I don't know if they've actually announced all of the panels yet.
They don't. Darth Vader, I don't know if it was. I don't want to call it a demonologist panel. But yeah, their category. If you have the app, maybe they may have uploaded some of them on the app. But it was what's his name? He's a exorcist guy. He worked with the Warrens. He was one of their apprentices, and he did a quick little panel.
Interesting. Oh, John Cena's gonna be there. That's cool. Okay.
You'll never see him though.
Did you ever see that video? It was like a prank call. This guy called this woman. She kept answering the phone like, "No, I'm not interested in buying this pay-per-view WWE event." And she gets so frustrated, and eventually he gets a call. Oh, hi. I'm just calling to see, do you support veterans? Oh, yes. I'm so sorry that we've been getting all kinds of calls. Yes, I support veterans. Specifically the Marine Corps. Yes, the Marine Corps. Well, and it goes in. I can't explain it properly, but like it's just this phone call about like this WWE pay-per-view event. Well, we're here to talk to you about one specific veteran you won't see because it's John Cena. And I need to, oh my God, I need to send you that whole thing because it's so good. It's so good. I can't even, I'm looking here on the website. I don't even see anything about panels.
The app was the best. So if you have the app from last year, that would be the way to go. I'm trying to remember this dude's name.
Second breakfast, an unexpected feast with the hobbits.
That's probably a ticketed one, but that might be one that would be worth.
Ooh,
for
only $230. Admission for one person to an unforgettable breakfast experience with all 4 hobbits in attendance. Seating is first come, first served. A lavish Lord of the Rings inspired breakfast buffet crafted to feel like it's straight out of the Shire. Exclusive second breakfast mug and tote bag created just for this event and available nowhere else. Interesting. Yeah, they are really milking these hobbits for what they're worth, aren't they?
Oh, well, they know they're going to make money off it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, and they got to probably pay them for being there.
Oh, yeah. Like, they're going to make buku dollars from this, I bet. Richard Taylor. Richard Taylor is a legend at Weta. Bizarro Wrestling.
Those Weta workshops would be cool to go to.
Yeah, that would be
Dave,
interesting to do.
I've always been on the, I don't know, call it conspiracy, call it the mindset that, like, if those things weren't real, now they're rare, doesn't happen often, or it doesn't really get excessive enough for somebody to need an exorcism. But if those things were, untrue, then, the Catholic Church wouldn't have a small sect of exorcists.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely very much believe in the supernatural things in
Yeah.
this world.
Yeah. 100%. Well, and there's like a whole thing. Like part of their job is to make sure that, it's not just some psychological trauma or issue, right?
Oh, it takes years to
Yeah.
go through all of the testing to like be a candidate for exorcism.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
whole
so it's
process.
pretty cool.
I would love to learn more about that. Like, even the Lutheran Church historically had exorcists. Well, I mean, because the Lutheran Church, I mean, correct me, Dave would know more about that than I would, but the Lutheran Church is kind of just it's a lot like the Catholic Church. It's just an offshoot because Martin Luther had a lot of issues with the Catholic Church. But I mean, yeah, I don't know,
I
that whole
was
thing is
on
just like
the weird side of TikTok last night because I was just kind of scrolling through bed and going through all kinds of crazy stuff. And this one about voodoo dolls popped up. It was super interesting. I think I saved it because I wanted to go check out the like documentary it was a clip of, and it was a medicine man in New Orleans area
mm-hmm.
talking about uh, um, how voodoo dolls weren't to cause pain, and it obviously started from pagan medicine,
Uh-huh.
but remember black slaves and stuff. And now I don't know if this is true because I haven't watched it or necessarily, but if it is, it's really cool. So the idea of the voodoo doll was because blacks weren't able to read or write.
Mm-hmm.
So if you went to you're in a plantation or whatever, and you go to the person who's the medicine person in your area and say, I've been having these headaches. They say, cool, here's your medicine. Now, real quick, give me a piece of your hair. I'm gonna make this voodoo doll, and they put a needle in the head
Mm-hmm.
of the voodoo doll, put it back on the shelf. Now that guy comes back and says, hey, I was here before. I had headaches. She looks on her shelf of voodoo dolls and says, oh, here you go. It's how they kept medical records
No
of where they
way.
treated patients because they couldn't read or write. They weren't allowed to do that.
Oh, that's wild.
And
Okay.
so, and it would make sense that, white propaganda turned it into, oh, that's evil. Don't let that witch create a voodoo doll of you because they've cursed you. When evidence would say no, they are actually using it to keep records of where on the body they've healed somebody.
That's wild. I had
I was
no
like,
idea.
that's actually really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really weird. But like, isn't there, I don't know anything about voodoo, but isn't there like white propaganda maybe at first, but it's like now it's like a legitimate thing. Like Wiccans and stuff will cast spells and stuff like that using voodoo dolls, will they not?
Well, you had to have a focus,
Yeah.
but I mean, uh, but I think it was really cool. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
40 Viking. The normal side of TikTok would be puppy videos and stupid dance trends.
Yeah. Lots of nurses and things like that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
you
cool.
could say medical records could be the same thing. Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
That's really cool. No, I didn't. I had no idea about that. I don't really. I've never once gotten onto TikTok. Never used it. And maybe
Yeah, every now and again.
maybe I don't know. Maybe I fall for that whole oh, TikTok is the bane of our civilization because there's so much bullshit that's spread around on it.
I guess I get addicted to it when I know there's drama going on because
Mm-hmm.
I like some good tea. So I'm like, oh, people are fighting in a imaginary social media space because of personas they put up there that piss other people off.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Um,
Parasocial stuff is interesting.
it's just like, and well, every social media's got TikTok now, basically. I mean, TikTok was the
Yeah.
start of like shorts and stuff. Well, I guess Vine was kind of the
Reels.
start of it, but
God, Vine was the good old days.
yeah, that was another one I never got in on. Like, I remember seeing all the Vines and stuff like that, all the popular ones. But that's another one that I never hopped on that bandwagon.
I was there towards the end. I jumped on it.
I've come to the conclusion I'm just bad at knowing things. like all of the current pop culture trends and stuff like that. I tend to like sequester myself into my own little thing and what's going on. And, I focus on like 5 or 6 different things at once. And that's it. Like, I don't venture outside of that. So like, right now we've got a couple of campaigns going on. I might play a video game every once in a while. I might, I'll do some editing, I'll do some writing, I'll do some planning and stuff like that. And that's all I do. Like, I don't devote any energy to learn about voodoo dolls and stuff like that, even though that's something that would be actually really cool to know for certain games that I might be running. Moss can leer the ballroom dance at me.
Learn how to ballroom dance.
Moss, the last adopter.
Amazing,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, yeah, I am kind of the last adopter.
I feel like Nomi would totally be down.
That would be
if
so
she doesn't
funny.
already know how to do that. See, I feel like I haven't hung out or done much with Nomi, but I feel like me and her are kind of the same, of where we just know a little bit about a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also, I think she works in the same industry. It's ADHD, man. She's a bartender, isn't she?
I know she was. I know she was a
was at one
bartender. I
point?
don't. She might still bartend. I think she still bartends every once in a while, like for events and stuff like that. But yeah.
That's also the stuff I watch on TikTok. I follow a couple really good chefs
Mm-hmm.
who show you techniques and things like that. And then there's the memes of restaurant ones where like they just, very sarcastic with what happens at restaurants. Like there was one the other day that I saw, and it was like trying to get out of the restaurant industry, and it's the guy who's like running, and then somebody's chasing him, and it's just, and I was like, oh, that one hits hard.
Yeah. Have you seen the ones where it's like this Japanese, like, he's not I don't know. He uses a tanto, and he like cuts the ice into certain shapes, and he's very like formal about it. He's a bartender.
Oh, the bartender one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's nuts.
Yeah. That dude is gifted in
I
his
love
craft.
the comments. The comments on those ones are the best. They're like 20 minutes later, I still don't have my drink.
So
Like,
because
you're not wrong.
5 minutes shaving the ice cube, and then gives you a finger of whiskey in it and just spins it at you. Which the presentation is fantastic. You pay $40 for the presentation alone, but I mean, you'll never forget that. You'll never forget that drink.
So Monday nights, our cocktail bar in town has industry night, so all their signature cocktails are $10. So I always go after work because it's a block up from me, and I have become their guinea pig for things. Now everything's good. I've never had anything that I haven't enjoyed because they're not trying to make gross stuff, but it is pretty funny.
Have you ever had? It's just a random thought. Have you ever had an aviation?
Yeah, I love a good aviation.
Oh my god, that stuff it's like one of the few mixed drinks that I'm like, oh, I'm all about it.
My favorite cocktail is a New York Sour. So it's a whiskey sour with the wine float on the top.
Interesting.
It's delicious.
What is it? A New York Sour?
New York Sour.
I might have to learn it. I might have to go and try that. One of the drinks that I really want to try, and it might be disgusting, but in the first chapter of the Call of Cthulhu book, it talks about pisco sours a lot.
Pisco sours are so good. Pisco is delicious. I love pisco.
Okay. So I'm gonna have. So it's it's pisco and then egg whites shaken into a cream, right? With some bitters and is it lime?
Yeah. Yeah, so most sours, proper sours are done with egg whites. And what that does is it creates kind of this creamy texture. And then if you do it correctly, so what you do is you put all the ingredients in and you dry shake it with the egg whites to emulsify,
Uh-huh.
and then you shake it with ice, and it just creates this really nice um little foam like on the top, and then you can like do a bitter design or whatever on it. Yeah, no, that's pisco sours are really good.
Oh,
Well, it's funny because we were actually talking about that on Monday. We were talking about pisco, and then because that's a Brazilian
it's Peruvian.
alcohol,
Yeah,
right?
Brazilian,
Peruvian. There we go.
Peruvian. It's like South
I'm
American.
thinking
Yeah.
of there's another one, cachaca or something like that. That's the Brazilian one, and that one's really good too. And it's just starting to sort of become popular in the
Mhm.
states.
See, this is great because like I love this conversation because it's so out of the box for me because I'm used to dealing with, boring shit like, you know, in my line of work it's interest rates. Interest
Right.
rates on investment accounts. Like nobody wants to talk about that unless you have an investment account with a ton of money, and I can help you out with that. By the way, I can help you out with your investment accounts, guys. But it's like, you know, I don't know. I don't know, man. I remember reading the phrase pisco sour so many times reading through Mask of Nyarlathotep, that first chapter,
Mhm.
and I'm like, this sounds so good. I just don't know if anywhere around here would know how to do it.
Yeah, pisco's not. Again, it's one of those things that's kind of like slowly coming to the states.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm a big tequila. I love tequila. Tequila is like my favorite uh, liquor, and up here, as I moved up here, they just started getting Dobel, which
Uh-huh.
is a brand of tequila, and that's their Maestro Dobel series is so good because what they in the last couple years, tequila they've been clarifying tequila. So you get like your reposados and your añejos, which are aged and kind of have a spice to it, and they'll clarify it before they bottle it. So it gets rid of the impurities and it takes some of the like not the flavors they probably don't want and
Mm-hmm.
just gives like a pure flavor, and those are really good.
What's it called?
Dobel
Dobel.
is the brand. If you ever see it, it's really good. Their bottles are super cool.
Dobel. Tequila. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. That is first rate
But that would
packaging.
be, I mean, if you go anywhere, if you guys go anywhere, while you're in Orlando, that has cocktails, like it's an actual cocktail bar.
Mm-hmm.
Not the ice bar. I doubt would have pisco, but like an actual cocktail bar, they would probably that would be a place to get a pisco sour is for sure.
Yeah. 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 I mean, there's all kinds of like I've never had like good ramen, and I want to go
Hmm.
somewhere that's got like good ramen. I've never been to a good Korean place, like a Korean barbecue. I want to go to a Korean barbecue.
Korean barbecue. You got to be careful though, because you will just all of a sudden be like, I paid $150 in meat because I just kept ordering meat.
Yeah, yeah. That's I mean, and I'll eat so much of it. Uh yeah, this
I mean, it's delicious, but
pisco
yeah.
sour looks really good. Uh I want to just now I had stuff I wanted to do today. And now I just want to get drunk. Oh god. Yeah. So do you have like you're doing a pub crawl today. Is there any like uh specific beers or anything that you're like that you haven't tried that you're looking forward to trying? That you know
I don't
about?
know. I mean, we have quite a few breweries in town, so I guess it'll just kind of depend on what's going on. I mean, I don't know. It sort of will just depend on how I'm feeling when I get up there too, and how drunk I want to get.
I mean, it's your birthday. It's not like we have anything to do
Yeah.
tomorrow, right?
Right? I'll have to get up at early.
Yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know, we record Jacob's Ladder first thing on Sunday mornings, and it's like I don't mind it too terribly much because it means that we get it done and we got the rest of the day ahead. But at the same time, like everybody is just tired. Is my mic quiet? Let's see.
I mean,
It's a little bit.
Let's see. So
It might be a little.
the schedule is eggs and kegs at the Deadwood Social Club. Then pub crawl registration is between 11 and 2. The parade's at noon.
A
Bill
parade?
Walsh is singing Nuns. That sounds fun.
What kind of parade? What kind of parade are we talking about here?
Like a St. Patty's Day parade.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, it is St. Pat. Oh my gosh. I'm so out
Well,
of
St.
touch.
Patty's Day is on Tuesday.
Yeah, because it's the day
Sounds
before. It's the day before I leave. Oh my gosh.
And then pub crawl begins. And then at 7 o'clock is the Lucky Leprechaun Hunt. And the pub crawl award ceremony.
Lucky leprechaun. Do they have like a scavenger hunt
The
where they just post like
leprechaun.
leprechauns around or something?
I'm sure that there's, maybe it's just some little redhead guy that runs around.
Yeah. Let this be your announcement. I'll be in South Dakota later on today. Man. No, while you're out doing a pub crawl, I'll be cutting down bushes and stuff. Oh my god, I'm not looking forward to
Fun.
that. Ugh, I hate, I don't know. There's almost nothing I hate more than yard work. I hate it with every fiber of my being. It's the absolute worst.
I think which modern classic cocktail you need to try is a penicillin.
See if I can even
Those are
smell
actually
it.
really good. So it's scotch and honey and ginger.
Scotch, honey, and ginger. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
And a little lemon juice for citrus. But yeah, those are actually really good too.
Reminiscent of a hot toddy.
Which are also delicious whenever you're sick.
I never had a hot toddy. See,
It's just pretty much hot water, whiskey, and lemon. And if you have like a sore throat or something, dude, that a little heavy on the whiskey.
See, a whiskey on a sore throat seems like
I knew
it seems
Chris.
counterintuitive.
I think me and Chrysanth have had this conversation about hot toddies before. Because I knew she was gonna say that.
Engrossed by yeah, we actually kind of talked about this before. I was like, I said, yeah, I'll probably have the map up, but I don't know how much I'll be working on it, just because we'll probably just be talking. like, look, I put these little lights around on the floor here, So there's been some progress.
Some stuff going on.
Yeah. I had thought about. I've been kind of thinking about the floor here, and I'm not a huge. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the floor. Just because it's just I don't know. It seems boring. I feel like there needs to be more going on, but I don't know what. I'm still working on my Ooh, you know what? Actually, let's do this. Boom. Problem solved. I found this, and this is the immediately. All I had to do was look for 2 seconds, and I found something that would make it so much better.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a cool design.
Is that do I want to carry that over into the stage here? Why not? Actually, no, we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna leave the stage alone. I want to find an opportunity to use half of this stuff. Well, now that I'm looking at it,
Right. Well, that's what I every now and again I'll go through and because I used them when we did our little background episodes. I used the Dragon's Tavern one, and then I
yeah.
used your Cliffside Wizards.
Of all of the maps that I've made, the Dragon's Tavern one might be one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Trying to think. Yeah, I'm gonna open that back up. Just because I really enjoy playing with like the lighting of these things,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like the light in this one, it's really bright, but there's definitive light sources that are just kind of smattered around the entire map, and yeah, I was really happy with this one. I like it a lot.
I know there's a way. It's probably going to take me like forever to figure out. But when I was getting all the Ravenloft Castle maps, somebody had put them together in a one scene, so you just go up each level like naturally. So like if you guys split up, you guys could be at different spots of the castle, but on the same scene.
Really?
And I should probably do that because then I'd be less confused about which floor you're actually on. And I'm like I'm like, oh shit, what floor? Which one does this connect to?
Yeah, that Foundry's really cool. It's just it's not a super steep learning curve, but there's so much you can do with it that it just doesn't really occur to me.
You don't, yeah,
half the
you
time.
can use it for basic functions, or you can really just use it for everything else. If Roll20 instituted a targeting system instead of being a annoying macro,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they would have really lost the amount of people they did. The only reason I would use Roll20 is because I have a couple modules that are on specifically Roll20.
Mm-hmm.
So I've paid for those. Like one campaign again that I've always really wanted to run because I've never been able to run it past the first book is Rise of the Rune Lords, which is the first adventure path by Paizo for Pathfinder.
Oh, nice.
And I have that whole campaign on Roll20.
Interesting. Yeah, that one would be pretty cool.
Fun. Pretty both of us. It's kind of a little combination channel between me and Moss.
We is partners.
Mm-hmm.
Not in that way. Not in that way. That wouldn't work out. I'm not into long distance stuff. But
yeah.
I never did get a cool reaction from Moss's He-Man. I gave you sent it to me in a private DM. I didn't see it in the what you call it? Where'd you put it? The live stream fan art section? Yeah. I gave you a reaction. I was like, yeah, you're far too generous. Considering Moss a leprechaun at this point because he is short. Just he isn't green. If I had a dime for every time somebody called me short, I would not have to work. Like I could pay for my house. I mean, Fantastic Sarcastic alone would be able to pay my electric bill. Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking, like, I don't know. Maybe this is a little inside baseball. Maybe not appropriate for talking to the chat, but why not? Why not? I was thinking, like, I was trying to figure out as far as the next thing we do, because I don't think Jacob's Ladder is going to go on for nearly as long as Fear of Ages Past did. I think that one. I don't think the Electric State lends itself too well to really long campaigns. So I'm trying to figure out like what do we want to do next, and I am leaning towards the One Ring season 2, but I don't know. I'm curious as
They
to
released. I don't know if you saw that they released some more content for the One Ring.
the
I
Hand of
forgot to tag you
Saruman.
in it on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to read through it yet. The only thing, so I did
See you
get a chance to
occasion,
look at it
Corey.
later, man. I did read a little bit about it, and there's like a section in there that allows you to mess with the canon a little bit. Which, you could take it or leave it, but I was not a
Yeah.
huge fan. Like there's a section in there where you can attempt to sway Saruman away from the ensnarement of Sauron. And I'm like,
Okay.
not super interested in messing with the lore in that respect, but
Yeah.
having something at my fingertips to be able to bring Saruman into it, I think would be really interesting. And it's not like he wasn't mentioned in the last campaign. He definitely was.
Oh, for
Just
sure.
not, it was just kind of in passing, much like, a lot of other characters in canon. Playing golf. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it'd
just
be
got
interesting to
invited
do
to play
that.
golf. And I'm like, I don't play. I'm like the last person you want to ask to play golf. I just got invited to it. I'm like, ugh. Yeah, if you want to spend 2 hours on a single hole while I try to putt I couldn't even get it. I went to the driving range not too long ago, and it's just miserable. It's a miserable display. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious because there's been a lot of feedback on the channel about season 2 and wanting more of the One Ring. But I'm curious as to one, if the players are interested in going back to the One Ring, and two, if the audience is interested in seeing something a little bit different.
Yeah, I would definitely love to go back and explore that world. Probably as a different character, though.
Yeah, I think that's the
But
way I would want to do it too. Is different characters, just simply because like by the end of Fear of Ages Past, you guys were just like, you weren't like legendary status, but I mean, you guys were really strong.
Freddie's got a good question for us. Another tabletop question: do both of you think the D&D is still playable with all the crap that Wizards of the Coast is inserting on the story? So yes, because really all you need to play any tabletop game is the player's handbook
Mm-hmm.
and the monster manual. That's really it. I lump the Dungeon Master Guide in there because the Dungeon Master Guide are supposed to be world building assets.
Mm-hmm.
If you read most of them through any other tabletop game, previous editions of Dungeons and Dragons, it's all world building advice, and how world building should go with the system of mechanics and alternative rules and things like that, and just kind of almost a glossary of just extra rules or expanded rules. So I think that Dungeons and Dragons 5.5 2024, whatever this pseudo edition remastered. I mean, they should have just called it 5th edition remastered.
Yeah.
Because it's really all it was. Is still playable, but I would say homebrew. I think the way they've, take the Dragon Age Veilguard is the prime example of kind of how that woke storytelling went, where there was never really any conflict. Anything you chose as the main character, even though the option may have seemed like it could have led to some sort of conflict, it was the gentle parenting version of that option.
Yeah. Everything
There,
just works out.
Yeah, and there were decisions to be made to make different playthroughs because like you go either save, you as the character have to go to one of these two places to save things. So obviously there's some sort of choices, but you get there and the characters are like, "We're not mad at you because we understand you had to go save people. We're just disappointed that, you didn't also save us."
Yeah, I mean the way I've always looked at fifth edition, and I've always looked at it as just it's guardrails kind of. It's a frame. It's the frame to the house, and you put up the drywall. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've not run a fifth edition like actual module. Everything that I've done in fifth edition has been kind of homebrew. So, yeah, to kind of echo what JJ just said, like, yeah, 100% you can still play it. I don't know if, like, and really all you need to do if you're worried about, what they did with the orcs and stuff, reskin it. I mean, the mechanics are, I guess, fine. I know there's complaints with like, a buddy of mine was talking specifically about a paladin and how he didn't like that you had to pre-cast Divine Smite now or something. And there's like mechanical questions that could be, but that's with every TTRPG. Like there's mechanical issues with it, things that people would have done differently and stuff.
And Pathfinder and even 3.5, real quick, I'm going to answer Freddie's question. I don't think Veilguard is based on D&D. I mean, it could have been. They could have taken a lot of inspiration about certain things from it, but I feel like the story, the writing of Veilguard is similar to what we see in the writing of the more recent adventure paths written by Wizards of the Coast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and third edition content. Holy crap! I remember the guys I started playing with. He had a bookshelf in his in like his bedroom that was like 3 or 4 bookshelves full of Dungeons and Dragons stuff, ranging from like second edition through 3.5. And I want to say there was 35 books in the Forgotten Realms.
Golly, that's
I mean,
a crazy amount.
There is so much content for the Forgotten Realms, especially in that like third edition era of Dungeons and Dragons, which obviously not all of it, was mechanical based. So it was just campaign setting. If they had a stats on a bad guy or, the king of or whatever, sure, that's fine. But it wasn't pertinent to, what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I played a brewmaster, I think is what it was called. It was a potion class. I played this artificer, and I basically was like, every time we took a long rest, I could make like 3 potions.
That's crazy.
For like no cost, just because. But kind of to my original point, the longer a tabletop game goes on, the more out of balance it gets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of what happened, I think, with 5th edition, which is why they remastered it, is what I'm going to say for now on.
Yeah.
But you saw that in 3.5 especially, because I remember towards the end of 3.5, they did this Tome of the Nine Swords.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sort of a pseudo sonic. They sort of did this like, I kind of leaned into like chi power.
Mm-hmm.
And you were kind of like, why would I not at least multi-class with anything in this book to unlock some of these things, because it's just so much more powerful. So you do get to a point when you're playing these games, and Pathfinder, fell under the same thing too, where you sort of have to restrict players when you're coming up with a campaign, because there might be things that are innately not going to be fun for the player. Like if one of my favorite classes, and I've played before and it was super fun, is Vigilante in Pathfinder First Edition. You basically make 2 characters, and you because it's Batman. That's the class.
Oh,
you have 2 personas, and one is your kind of like everyday man persona, and then the other one is your vigilante. And there's two types of vigilantes. You can kind of be the stealthy assassin type or kind of the brute thug type. And that doesn't fit in a lot of campaign ideas.
Yeah.
Because part of it is being people not knowing you're the vigilante.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you will lose some of your powers because it depends on people not knowing you are the other person as well.
I really like that idea. I like that idea.
It's a super fun class, and they made that book, Ultimate Intrigue, did this really fun, and we've played it a few times, and it works really well. It's a heist mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's characters building a heist, and it doesn't have to just apply to heist. It just kind of has to apply to really any thing that can have stages. And the idea is that the players create the heist, and then the DM just fills in the holes. So we had one where we had to infiltrate. We were playing Kingmaker, and we got word that King Iravetti was locking down whatever his city is in that campaign, and that anybody there who wasn't a citizen of there was probably going to get killed. So we're like, oh, we need to get our embassy out of there. Like, we need to sneak them out. We knew we couldn't teleport in because then he would know. So we teleported outside the city and then split up into 3 teams. You know, this was the infiltration team, this was the escape team, this was the Overwatch team, and we like decided on that. And then we said, this is what we're doing, these are what our characters are doing. And then the game master just created the encounters after we had said, this is our plan.
Interesting. Well, see, I like that because it's like one of the complaints that I had a lot with especially 5th edition has been that a lot of the material that was released. Now, obviously, there's adventure paths and stuff like that, but a lot of the material that was released was player focused, and like you know, to your point, like it just continued to be out of balance. You know, the player characters got more and more powerful. They got more and more abilities that just, you know, it became incredibly cumbersome to balance anything. But I like the idea of like a system that the players kind of control for the narrative. And then, but it gives the DM tools kind of just to fill in the gaps. I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah. So there's, you know, and that's why I love, you know, especially like a lot of the Pathfinder stuff, like one called Ultimate Campaign, which I have here because I was looking at it again. It's not, I mean, it is Pathfinder based mechanics, you know, when it comes to rolling dice and stuff, but it's not a class or anything like that. What it is it's pretty much for, I would say, Kingmaker or any kind of campaigns like that. So there is some stuff in here, you know, traits and backgrounds and things like that. So there's a little bit of a mechanical aspect, but there is a part here where if you can build your own fortresses and you can hire teams.
Yeah.
So you can hire elite soldiers, and this is what they create for you. And it has this whole system of saying, okay, you know, they do it in blocks. So if you have, you know, 6 blocks or whatever for building, you know, you build brewery or whatever, and then it has, you know, the price to hire a smith and all of these things. And I've played in games where it works, and it is super fun.
That is really cool. That's really cool.
Like a whole bargaining and market system and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
So it gives you like a whole, like a side quest to build up your own like internal economy almost.
Yeah. So if you want to like elevate Kingmaker, this is kind of what we use it for. So we had Kingdom Rounds, you know, which is where effectively those, you know, players or whoever's the king decides what the kingdom is going to go for and stuff like that. But we also had in that Kingdom Round, everybody else had their own individual things.
Mm-hmm.
So my character was kind of building the Pathfinders in the sense of like the scouts and stuff like that for the army.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like elite snipers and mages, and I built those teams, and I built an inn to generate money and stuff like that, and it was all those kind of like roles and things like that that I had to manage because it was fun.
Interesting. See, that sounds, because at first, whenever you mentioned that, like the thing that came to mind, if you're familiar with Matt Colville's Kingdoms and Strongholds,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that kind of came
Probably
to
similar
mind.
to
But it's
that.
like, Kingdoms and Strongholds, I think, is very much more treating your treating your stronghold as a character as opposed to like a place, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It very much it gives your, like, at first you decide, okay, this is the kind of establishment that like I want an establishment that deals in information. I want like a keep that deals in more like martial things. I want merchants guild that deals in more economical things. So you start off with that, and then you can kind of build onto there, and the abilities that you get are dictated by the the kind of people that you hire on, and based on, and the people that you can hire on is based on the type of establishment that you've set up. And it's like, it's very much it's very much kind of a personified treating your own kingdom as another character, because you almost have to separate the system out from your own personal character. Like it's another character, but at a much larger scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is it's pretty cool.
Draw Steel from Matt Koval is definitely one that I want to try at some point
Mm-hmm.
because it is. I know it harkens to fourth edition because that group likes fourth edition,
Mm-hmm.
but it has some really cool mechanical things, and I can't stop getting over Gypsy's feet in the air. If you look on my screen, that's so funny.
Yeah, mine will, like, she'll keep coming in, and she'll just like sit right here next to me, and then just stare at me for about 2 minutes and wag her tail, and I'll pat her head a little bit, and then she'll walk off. About 5 minutes later, she'll come back and just do the same thing.
Yeah, Bandit's pretty much right at my feet here, but yeah, Gypsy's little feetsies up in the air are funny.
Is Gypsy the chill one between the two?
No, Bandit's definitely more chilled. Gypsy is high strung border collie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine they just go, like, I don't know, whenever I'm streaming, they're just like not around really. They go outside and just chill out there. But yeah, Draw Steel, I don't know much about that one. I had a buddy of mine
I think it might be in our Google Drive because I did buy it because I did get it for sale. If it's not, I will make sure I upload it on there.
Yeah, I'd like to take a
feel
look
like
at
I
that
put it
because,
up
like,
there.
one of the things that really drew me. Oh, see, here she is again. Hey, babe. One of the things that really drew me to it was the idea that, you know, you get to accomplish something during your turn in combat. It's not
There's
just
no
like,
roll to hit.
yeah, like
Everybody hits.
you're always doing damage or something during combat.
But it's how the defender is negating the damage, whether it's through skills or armor and things like that.
So, like, I really like that idea because, and I know I've talked about this ad nauseum on this stream about how I abhor sitting and waiting, 30 minutes for a turn only to miss and fail everything that I try to do. Like, there's almost nothing that's more infuriating to me. It's like, I just get I get so frustrated. I'm just like, all right, and you know what? I could be doing something else right now. But I really like the idea of, at least you can accomplish something. You can, wither away at their resources. You can, get rid of some HP. You could do something regardless of roles at the table. you know. Because doing just going back and forth in a battle of attrition, trying to accomplish something and then failing and then waiting half an hour to try it again is just not.
And that is one of the things that I enjoy about second edition Pathfinder is that I like the 3-action economy.
Yeah.
Very simple. You have 3 actions. 90% of the things you do are going to cost 1 action.
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth. What it is on the player side of things, and I know you know, with like your Dragging Strike and things, is using unique things in combat. You know, like demoralizing and things like that. So it's you're trying to, and I think that is one reason I like it is because it's sort of different from get my numbers as like it's almost the opposite of, because obviously anything that involves numbers, get my numbers as big as possible, but also get the bad guys' numbers as low as possible. So it really gives you 2 things to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the lower, and honestly, the lower the bad guys' numbers get, the higher your numbers will get as well, because of how the critical system works.
Right.
Where it's not, it is 10 over is critical. So it's, you know, you hit really hard. So really, Ronnie should be trying to debuff for you and the barbarian to come in and just do 50 points of damage.
Yeah.
Because you both can crit now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of the cool tactical thing I like about Pathfinder 2e. Obviously, it follows Paizo, which is very much crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
And I nerd out on that a little bit, which is why, like the ultimate campaign, because it's, you know, a blacksmith costs 2 gold a day, and you know, you're like, oh, I got, you know, here's my input, incoming, outgoing, you know.
You like the bookkeeping aspect of it,
yeah, and stuff like that. But yeah, other than just 5th edition, where it's like, okay, if I hit with this attack, I roll 7 dice.
Yeah. Well, that one thing that I really like about 2nd edition Pathfinder is that there's also failure conditions. So like, you know, specifically like you mentioned Dragging Strike, like even if I miss with the Dragging Strike, just by simple virtue of me having that ability, I put them off guard, even if I don't hit them.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is great. Like I love that. Which, you know, that one specifically only works on my turn, but I mean, regardless, I'm still achieving
but still,
something.
you do that in your first attack, and you have a really, you know, with that other Exacting Strike,
yeah,
the multiple attack one. So, you know, Dragging Strike off guard, there's your debuff, right? There's your -2 to their armor class. And then, but you know, so then you try to hit, you know, maybe you miss, maybe no matter what, you're not gonna get to that -10,
right?
Unless you've hit every single person. So at that point, you're like, well, you know what? I've done 40 points of damage. Let's see if I can get that 20 to just top the guy off real quick and probably kill him.
Mm-hmm.
That feels good, you know. Like if you plan around right in 2nd edition, it feels good no matter what, whether you did damage or not, because you can do things, you know.
Yeah. Never had the chance to play anything other than 5th edition. It's also what I know. It's what I run. Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. Everybody plays. It's just because, you know, I think that Dungeons and Dragons has been first in, best dressed for a long time. And especially with like Critical Role, you know, I don't think there's necessarily anything inherently wrong with Critical Role. But they popularized it for sure. Like, you know, Critical Role is probably responsible for a lot of people earning a lot of money in Hasbro stock. But at the same time, they've also kind of garnered an audience, a specific kind of audience for it that has encouraged Wizards, at least to a certain extent, to adjust the content of Dungeons and Dragons. So, but it's what everybody knows, and if you can find a good DM who can still make it feel like, you know, like you're accomplishing something. Like, one of the things that I like to do, and I think Numlock is kind of an exception to what I normally do, but for the longest time, most of the characters that I made didn't really have much to offer in terms of combat prowess. Like Coke and Stash, Coke and Stash wasn't like, he was not the most effective combat, but like I like the fact that he could invent stuff. He was an inventor. He made contraptions and stuff. I like playing support characters.
Yeah,
So-
you get a lot more rules lawyer in Pathfinder.
yeah.
But they also have a very wide swath of small rules.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can sometimes kind of contradict itself with certain things again, because sometimes rules only apply in certain situations. But fifth edition is great. I think fifth edition for me personally gets a little boring because there is a bit of waiting around for your turn.
Mm-hmm.
I made a homebrew system where combat was contested rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So you rolled your attack versus my dodge or parry.
Mm-hmm.
And armor turned into damage reduction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure somewhere on this computer the rules are there, but the idea was instead of, I think it was proficiency bonus plus key ability stat was your pool for attack, dodge, and parry. And so you would break that up into how you wanted your character, and it gives you a little bit more customization because you could have a very attack-heavy character, a very defensive character. And I felt that was fun. I played that because it kept people a little bit more tuned in on combat instead of, oh, he's just going to roll and see if he hits me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, you got to roll dodge for all these arrows coming at you. And so people were like, oh, I got to actually like pay attention to where people are.
Yeah. Oh, I think some of the most fun that I have is definitely like, a lot of contested combat roles. Like, obviously Jacob's Ladder has that. One Ring has that. Call of Cthulhu has that. For the most part, most of the stuff that we do is like, you have the choice as to whether or not you want to react, and it might cost you a turn or something, but at least you're not sitting there waiting around. You're still rolling dice, even on somebody else's turn. And with 5th edition, it's just like, a saving throw every once in a while.
I love extended healing rules. Because your buddy wrote that in chat. I love that, where short rest is like it's like a day, and a long rest is like multiple days to a week. That is, I think that the biggest issue that happens is sometimes campaigns pick up a speed that isn't necessarily needed. Like let things happen over days, or encounters don't necessarily need to be back to back. There could be a week between certain things and stuff like that. And so like Sanguine Destiny, we're on day 5. We're coming into day 5, and it's 8 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes you get really quick ones like that, and then other times are like this. In game, the campaign took over a year because not everything, you had to wait for the next thing to happen.
Yeah, that's true. And like Fear of Ages Past also, it's there were times where you guys were, it's fellowship phases, entire seasons pass. And that's really the only time that you get the long rest, is like you go out on the adventure, and then you get the long rest where you can actually rest and recover for a couple of months. But like, Jacob's Ladder is like, what day are you on a Jacob's Ladder? Day 3, day 4, maybe. I mean, there's a
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because we've sort of played every downtime we've had too.
Yeah.
So I think we're close to a week, though. I think
Close to a week. Yeah. Well, because at this point, episodes that Chad hasn't seen yet, there's a bit of a time where it's like, okay, we're just gonna chill for a couple of days.
Mostly for my character.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the first the first 2 or 3 days of your guys' road trip is what they call it in the system, is just been just trauma. Just a lot of stuff happening. Yeah. And
I forget. Whatever episode we're on, I haven't watched it. Have we met Rose, or is that the end of this episode? We meet Rose.
I think that's the end. Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet.
I think it's this episode. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet. You guys will know what we're talking about. But
all right. Well, I am actually going to jump off and go get ready for this pub crawl, as I'm starting to get text messages and stuff for it.
All right. Sounds good. I've got to pee.
Actually, maybe get to a map.
Well, actually, you know what? It's about the time I normally end anyway, and I've got to take a leak. So, JJ, is there anything that you want to shout out? I mean,
just
shout out to the same stuff.
Tell your friends, man. Subscribe. I know my tattoo artist is probably going to watch some Fear of Ages Past.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'll tell you, the idea behind my tattoo was effectively to make the coat of arms for our adventuring party.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna have him do the Fear of Ages Past and Elven around it or under it or something like that.
Oh, are you going to have him? Is he going to be watching certain episodes, or?
I said if I could remember where there were descriptions of things, or if I could find, because you have most of that stuff on the drive, I think. So I might send him some of the photos of the items just to kind of get an idea. But I had kind of pieced one together as well. So, but other than that, just make sure you're liking everything, commenting all our stuff, so we can move the algorithm around, and we'll pump out as much content as we have time and can. And if there's again any cool tabletop games or anything cool you see, shout out to us in the Discord, because our idea is to sort of explore multiple different tabletop games and just tell stories, whichever ones we feel like have good stories going on. So
absolutely, yeah, that's as good of an outro as I could ever imagine. So bid you all adieu, auf Wiedersehen, and Gesundheit.
And I will fix her in episode 2 when that comes out for dispatch. Don't you worry.
Later, guys.
See you guys.